Freedom Tech. Welcome to Freedom Tech Weekend. My name is Marks with Maple AI, and we are back to talk about more privacy tools, more Freedom Tech tools, things that you can do to decouple your life from closed systems that hold on to your data and hold on to your software. So again, this is Freedom Tech Weekend. We give you one tool that you can try out and play around with this weekend. I'm going to do a quick scan here. Looks like I got Zap.Stream working, which is awesome. Let me click on that. Okay. I'm live there. Sweet. I got to verify if sound is working over there. I don't know if I can, oh, let me put my headphones on. Zap.Stream is working. That's great. And then we'll check. That's really the only important one, right? I think so. I'm trying to see if YouTube is live as well. Let's see, X. Okay, we're live on X. That's great. And then YouTube is not refreshing, but I'm going to guess YouTube is live. We're just going to play on as if it is. There it is. We're live there. Perfect. Okay, so welcome again. I apologize. First couple minutes, always making sure that's going. One of these days, I'm slowly improving my process here, right? One of these days, I will have an intro reel that plays as people come on. Those are always helpful to get this all set up and make sure audio levels are good and all that jazz. All right, let me open up the chat. We've got some live viewers coming in. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Freedom Tech Weekend. Feel free to post things in the chat. I have Zap.Stream open as well as X and YouTube. So if you post in the chat, I will hopefully see it and we can talk. Zap.Stream, you don't have to have a Nostr account to use it. So feel free to hop in there if you want to chat there if you don't like using YouTube and X. Great. Today we're talking about email privacy. There are lots of reasons why we might want to have email privacy, and we'll get into a few of those and figure out what is this all about. But there are different things. There's, there's email aliases, which is just hiding your email address. Then there are disposable emails where maybe you don't want to have an email that's long lasting for certain reasons. And then there's also data breach protection. There are reasons why you'd want to have different email addresses. And then there's spam protection too. So there are all sorts of reasons, and we are going to jump into those. So for the first few minutes here, I want to talk about what some of those different reasons are. First one, I think that is, I guess I would say three things. You've got identity protection. You simply just want to protect who you are when you're signing up for some new service you aren't familiar with. You don't necessarily want to give them an email address that has your name, maybe it has your last name on it, or something that can be tied back to you, right? So you just want, you don't know who these people are, you don't know what the service is. Maybe you do, but you just don't trust them. So identity protection. Second one would be spam prevention. So you don't want your email address being given around and sold to a lot of people. And if you give them an email alias or something else, it makes it that much easier to filter spam. You know which service sold your email out and started giving it around to other people. And in your spam filters, you can quickly just filter out that email address and get rid of the spam coming in. And then the third big reason is for online protection from data breaches. If you have an email address that is used on many different services, and then one of those services gets a data breach, now your email address is available online as being affiliated with a data breach, and people can grab your email off a list, and then they start poking around at other services to see where else that email address has been used. Sorry, my microphone. Okay. They poke around to see where the email address has been used, and will start to brute force other services. And potentially, if you're using the same email and password combination, they can get into another service. A big thing going on right now is you see people with Bitcoin and crypto where they're trying to scam people out of their tokens. So there have been data breaches in the past of services like Ledger, I'm sure there have been others that I just don't remember off the top of my head, but they are just assuming that someone who had a Ledger cold storage wallet is also using Coinbase or some of these other online custodial services. And so they will email you at that email address, or they'll even call you on the phone and try and get you to hand over credentials. And they're very cunning. They're really good at what they do, and they will hang up the phone as soon as they realize that you are not going to be helpful and that you're not going to give them what they need, and they'll just move on to the next person. But a lot of this comes down to email addresses that are reused across services. So there's a lot of power in having a privacy email setup. So let's try to introduce you to some of these options today. If you're not using something like this, that's okay. You can get started now. That's what we're here to do together on Freedom Tech Weekend. We've got 7 viewers here early on in the stream. This is awesome. Welcome to our 7 viewers. Feel free to comment. Let's see. We got High Heel King saying that they're testing out the new Zap.Stream mobile app. There's a mobile app for Zap.Stream. All right. We got somebody else on an NPub also doing Zap.Stream through the mobile app. This is awesome. Maybe there was a launch today. Was there a launch for the mobile app recently? Hell yeah, that's cool. Okay. Well, I'm going to go over to screen share now. Last week, the screen share came on for about 10 seconds and then got booted off. And I didn't know that because I was at Bitcoin Park Austin streaming with one display. And now I've got my second display here. So I can monitor the stream as I go and make sure that it doesn't get booted off. But welcome to our users in the chat who are chatting in Zap.Stream. Again, if you want to tune in from there, you can go to Zap.Stream and click on this guy right here. You do not have to have a Nostr account. It'll just automatically create a throwaway Nostr account for you, and your anonymity will be preserved. Okay, let's go over to Restream here. We're going to do the old share screen thing. Share window right here. We got 13 viewers. Welcome to our 13 viewers. Hello, hello. Welcome to Freedom Tech Weekend. I feel like I'm the guy from Zombocom. Welcome to you who is here. Okay, what's going on? Okay, again, I don't like having the square. So I'm going to change my little view. I assume that there's a way to make this automatic where I can just preserve how I'm doing it. Oh well, looks like we're just going to have a square today because I don't want to waste all y'all's time with that. Oh wait, here we go. Customize, circle. Okay, I need to be smaller, give more screen real estate to everything else. All right, so we are seeing here what we have is we've got my server where I stream from, my closed environment, if you will. We've got Maple on the left. This is our privacy AI chat that we use every week on Freedom Tech Weekend. You can get your own account. You can go to trymaple.ai, get your own free private chat. This is encrypted end to end and encrypts it on your device, sends it to the cloud. Not only are the CPUs encrypted, but the GPU is encrypted as well with secure enclaves. So there's no way for anybody to dump the memory and know what you're chatting about. So we are using this today to talk about disposable emails and privacy email addresses, right? So I had to do a quick little write-up for me. I'm just going to read this real quick because I know we have a lot of people on audio as well that listen to this. And then we'll go and look at a couple of services. So we have 2 different things. We have disposable email addresses and then privacy email aliases. Disposable emails are temporary email addresses that can be used to sign up for services without revealing your real name or address. These emails are often deleted after a short period, taking any spam and unwanted messages with them, and can be used to avoid giving out your personal email address to unknown services. Disposable emails are a good option for one-time signups or for testing services without committing to a long-term email address. Okay, that's great. That, there's all the time we go. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced this. You go to some new tool and the first thing you get is a login screen, right? We do that with trymaple.ai. So you go to some new tool. What's going on here? No. All right, trymaple.ai, right? You come in and you're like, oh, sweet, I want to start chatting securely. Boom. First thing you get is a sign up screen. And you're like, F me, I don't want to do yet another account. You can use one of these, right? You can sign in with GitHub, you can sign in with Google. We just added sign in with Apple to Maple as well, so that's coming soon. Apple's great because they actually have built-in privacy email aliases for you. So that's actually one of the benefits that I actually do like about Apple sign-in is when I do it, not only is it easy to sign in, I'm not having to create a username and password, but they do the email address aliasing for me. But this is a drag right here, right? What if I don't want to, what if I don't know Maple? I don't want to have this long-term relationship with it. I'm just trying to try it out. That's where a good disposable email address comes in. And why do we need a disposable one? Why not just make up a fake one, you know, rando at example.com or something? Well, these services require you to verify your email address before you can keep going because they're trying to prevent bots and spam as well on their side. So these disposable email addresses can live for short periods of time, and they all have different options, but you can receive an email to this address and the email maybe hangs around for just an hour, so it gives you enough time to verify that. And maybe the address actually stays alive longer than that, and only emails they auto delete after like an hour or so, short time period. Other ones, the email itself, the address goes away after a short time period. So it stays alive just long enough for you to verify the email with the service. Now there is a big warning with this. If you are using a disposable email address that does not live long, and you decide that you like the service, say that you sign up for Maple and you start using it and you actually really enjoy it, you need to find a way to migrate to an email address that's going to live long term. Right now in Maple, we don't have that ability, so you just have to sign up for another account. So do not sign up for a paid account on Maple using an email address that will be thrown away, because if you ever have to reset your password, you're going to be out of luck. So big warning there, and that's not just Maple, that's lots of different services that you might do. Okay, the other option here is privacy email aliases. Let's read that one. Privacy email alias, on the other hand, are permanent email addresses that forward emails to your real email address, but keep your real address hidden from the service provider. These aliases can be used to sign up for services without revealing your real email address and can be easily managed and deleted if needed. Privacy email aliases offer a more permanent solution than disposable emails and can be used to manage multiple email addresses and subscriptions from a single interface. So why would we want that? It says it in there, but this is long-lived, but we still protect our identity. So you see, we're going after multiple things here. Disposable is when we don't even know if this is going to be a long-term solution for us. We just need to try out something quick, but we don't want to leave our fingerprints and leave a trail all over the internet of where we've been. A privacy email alias does a similar thing, but it actually is attached to our real email. So there's a couple things there. One, if they take our email alias and start sending it around to advertisers, you will start getting spam into your real email address through this alias. But you can easily filter that out. You can go into your spam filter and say, anything coming into this alias, please just send to the spam folder or send to another folder, and you can manage it. It makes it a lot easier to manage rather than having your actual real email poisoned at that point. The other thing this gets you is the protection from data breaches. So you can have all of these services going back to your real email inbox, so you have a more manageable way to look at everything, but you're still protected if there's a data breach, so that your real email address is not attached on multiple services with password combinations. And like if you didn't tune in last week for Freedom Tech Weekend, we went into password managers and discussed them at length. And we talked about Bitwarden, VaultWarden, 1Password, LastPass, and why you should be using password managers and using throwaway passwords that are generated on the fly, so that you are not getting swept up in email password combinations that get reused. That you're just going to have a bad time with that. Okay, all right, we're up to 350 people. Welcome everybody. If you have not been here before, my name is Marks. I make a service called Maple AI that is a privacy email service. And every week on Friday at 15:30 UTC, we go over one Freedom Tech tool that you can use and play around with this weekend and start to incorporate into your life, so that you can hopefully decouple yourself from these closed services that trap your data down. This is not meant to be an advertisement for Maple every week, so I am going to close that window because we are talking about email aliases and disposable email services today. Let me just quickly check. Somebody else in the Nostr chat on Zap.Stream wants to know when Maple's going to have Nostr login. I would love to know that too. We have such a long list of things that we're trying to get to, like new models that you can run. We want to have document upload. Yeah, there's a lot of features we're working on. Nostr login is on our list. I promise you. It hasn't happened yet. Okay, so I asked Maple to give me the top services that we have for both disposable email addresses and privacy email address services. So let's start with the disposable ones. And in a lot of my searching, Guerrilla Mail kept coming up over and over again. So I'm going to skip number 1, Mailinator, and go to Guerrilla Mail. So let's take a look at that. Guerrilla Mail gives you disposable email addresses. They've processed so far over, 18 billion emails. That's a lot. Okay. You simply just pick your domain name that you want. They give you a random thing and you say, forget me. And it's like WTF. Let's look at WTF. This is your inbox ID. There is no sign up or passwords. You may change your inbox ID to whatever you like. You may choose alternative domains too. All email will arrive to the same inbox below. All addresses last forever, and anyone can access it if they know this inbox ID. Email addresses are held for 1 hour before they are deleted if you check them or not. Let's go more. This is the email address you give out. It is a scrambled version of this email here, your inbox ID, so it will be harder to guess which inbox ID is used. It's best to choose a uniquely random inbox ID. So what's going on here? They're combining disposable email with email aliases, so they're giving you double protection. New email arrives here. You can click on the confirmation links, open attachments, view the original source, reply, and more. All mail arrives here, including potential spam that would otherwise have gone to you. Last thing on this little tutorial, one small thing before we go, check them out on their socials. All right, so this is Guerrilla Mail. So we could sign up. I'm just going to go with the randomly generated one they gave me. Say forget me. All right, forget me was sent to the server. So now I've got this email address that I could use to sign up for something, right? And it's going to come in here. So I'm going to off screen send an email to this address. So let me copy that. And I'm going to send an email there. And because my work email is kind of exposed online anyways, because I am working and running a business, I'm just going to send it from my work email. So let's send that. Okay, looks like the live stream is still holding up strong. That's great. We've got 439 people viewing. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me open up the other chat. I forgot to do that. Okay, just making sure and monitoring it. All right. Thanks for the burning heart emoji. Appreciate it. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we are talking about email protection, privacy email, disposable emails, as well as email aliases. All right. So I emailed from my work account. Open Secret is the name of our company that makes Maple, trymaple.ai. So I came in here, I just said hello, and there we go. So it arrived. Now I can reply to this. Sending email has been suspended for today. All right, maybe I cannot reply to that. That's interesting. But if I had signed up for a new service that required me to verify my email address, that would have come in here. I would have clicked an email, a link, right? So I could, if I wanted to, let's just do this. Let's go to trymaple.ai, start chatting securely, sign up with email, boom, and let me generate a quick password with my password generator. You're not seeing this because I'm off screen, you're just seeing my cursor move. That is the point. All right, so I just created a new one. All right, I'm back. Let me paste this in, create account. Okay, so I just created an account with shark lasers, and look, I have to verify my email to this random thing. Me on the business side of Maple, I have no idea who this user is. I just see this email address come in. And because Maple's encrypted end to end, I can't read any of the chats going on. So there's no way for me to identify who you are. You are just an anon that came on to use this privacy email service. So let's go back now, slide this over. Let's check our email, back to the inbox. Here we are. Hello, welcome. Okay, so we got this. Now I opened that up in a privacy window because I was already logged into Maple and I want to do this. So I'm going to, I can either grab this URL and paste it in over there, or I can just copy and paste this code. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to come back here, verify. Okay, so now I'm in. I have 10 free chats for the week. So I can try out end-to-end encrypted AI chat, all that I want to, within the 10 chat limit. But with this email address, I have no long-term relationship with this company that I am not familiar with, and I can just do it. So hello, tell me about privacy email services. It works. Okay, so this is a free account I use with a free throwaway email. If I decided that I really like this service, then, and the service doesn't let me change my email address, which we currently don't support on here. Maybe in the future we will. There's some trickiness with changing your email address and having a private encryption key created for you that we're still figuring out. But that's fine. This is just a free account, right? If I decide that I like this and I want to upgrade, if I go to the upgrade options, I'm like, oh, sweet. I really want to use this a lot. I'm going to upgrade to one of these. The Pro plans really are most popular. This isn't just a joke. This is like, people love this thing. If I want to upgrade to that, then I'll just use a different email address. And that's where Proton Mail comes in. So I want to use a long running one that comes back to my real email. Let's go look at email aliases. Okay, so we looked at disposable emails with Guerrilla Mail. Hello, we were up to 536 people streaming here live with us. Welcome to Freedom Tech Weekend. We have a backlog of episodes. This is episode number 6. We've got a backlog of episodes on YouTube. You can go to my Twitter profile, marks_FTW, or we have an audio version available on podcasts. You can search Freedom Tech Weekend in your favorite podcast app. So we have 2 top services that are recommended for privacy email aliases, Proton Mail and SimpleLogin. Now, if you didn't know, Proton bought SimpleLogin a couple of years ago. So they work together, but SimpleLogin still runs on its own. We're going to look at SimpleLogin first and then go to Proton. And I'll tell you why in a second. SimpleLogin is awesome because it's open source and you can run it yourself. You can run the UI front end, you can run the back end. So you can be totally on your own if you want to. All right, it's open source. They got 5.7K stars on GitHub. If you want to help us out and do a solid, you can go to Open Secret Cloud on GitHub and give us some stars. It really does help out. I thought it was just fake internet money, fake internet points, but the investors and the people who have the money love to see the stars. So help us out and do us all and give us some stars. So SimpleLogin, protect your online identity with email aliases. We've talked that to death already, but email aliases are awesome. But yeah, what you get here is you get a Linux server that you can run. You can connect it with your own domain name. You could do this easily. You could really embed this into your own company workflow if you want to. Like, there's all sorts of flexibility here you can do with running your own SimpleLogin. Okay. We're not going to do that today here on the stream, but if you want to play around with that this weekend, this could be your tool for you, your Freedom Tech Weekend tool. Maybe get SimpleLogin up and running on your own. That would be pretty cool. If you're not a technical person that wants to mess with Docker images or Linux VMs, that kind of stuff, that's fine. Just play around with SimpleLogin or Guerrilla Mail or Proton when we get to it here. All right, so SimpleLogin does have pricing. They are community funded, right? So for free, you get 10 email aliases, unlimited bandwidth. You can reply from your alias, you get a mailbox, that kind of stuff, right? They have apps as well, and they have browser extensions. So you can have it make up email aliases on the fly within the service. So on the Maple sign up, we could have had SimpleLogin just create an email alias for us using the browser extension. Now, what did we talk about last week with browser extensions when we were looking at password managers? You got to be careful with those. You have to know the creator of your browser extension, and it's even more helpful if you can look at the source code. And browser extensions are really easy to build. Not build like write the code, but you can download the code and compile it yourself. So that is the safest way to know that your browser extension is not spying on you, because you can look at the code. You can give the code to AI and say, hey, look for backdoors or things that are concerning in here. AI will give you the thumbs up, say it looks all good. And then you just follow the really simple instructions to make a build of the extension, and you drag it into place on your computer, and boom, you're off to the races with an extension. And why do we care about that? Well, it's because browser extensions like this one, like SimpleLogin or Password Manager browser extensions, they only really are helpful if you give them access to every single website that you access. So now you are trusting some browser extension with your entire browsing history, and you're giving them access to the page that you're on. So that's a lot of power. Really think that through before you install a browser extension that you give access to every single website. Okay, maybe, feel free to hit me up. Someone's saying here, pretty sure GitHub flagged my account because I signed up using an email alias. That's a good point. Let's get back to that in a second. But yes, you can hit me up and let me know. We could do a future Freedom Tech weekend all about browser extensions and how to compile your own, how to find them on GitHub, download the code and compile it. I think that would be really interesting, so that people can demystify the need to install browser extensions that were built by somebody else and shipped by somebody else. So that might be cool. Okay. The comment here about GitHub flagged account because of email aliases. This is true. Some services do not like disposable emails, especially things like Guerrilla Mail, where they know that this is something that will probably just disappear, because they've had to deal with customer support issues where somebody says, I no longer have access to my account because I used a disposable email. We've had that personally at Maple AI. So that is a real thing. Oh, look, I got my welcome email from Maple. This came in. See? Hello, welcome to Maple AI. Okay. Yeah, so just be aware, freaks. Why did I say that? That's an RHR thing. Just be aware, everybody, that you might not be able to sign up with it, but just give it a try. And then if it rejects you, then you do something else, right? Okay, we're up to 637 people. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Freedom Tech Weekend. Okay, so back to SimpleLogin. We could sign up, right? Apparently that's not working. Maybe it brings me, oh, I'd have to sign up here. Okay. Now, like I said, SimpleLogin is owned by Proton. So you sign in with an email address. They recommend using the Proton Mail address, create a password, you're off to the races, right? I'm going to sign up with my Proton. I logged in with my work email. I know that this is like a little bit sketchy to do on a live stream. I'm trying to have some privacy here. So let's say that I already had a Proton email, right? I created a test folder so I don't show you my inbox. And I have a couple play around email address aliases that I have here as well. So there are two things I can do here. SimpleLogin, I could just sign in with my Proton and use the SimpleLogin service, which we'll do in a second. But I also want to show you, if you are already a Proton Mail user, and if you're not, you should definitely look at Proton. You can create email aliases right here in the UI. So go to Proton. Let me open up a private browser. Proton.me. This is a great tool to explore this weekend. I'm probably going to do a Freedom Tech Weekend episode just on Proton itself, because they have a lot of services that they offer. They run their own stack. They're very big on privacy. And I think that it's worth an entire episode. And it's worth your weekend to go look around at Proton if you're not looking at them yet. But if I'm using Proton, I just simply click New Email Alias. And then they suggest, all right, what service are you signing up for? So if I'm signing up for Maple AI, I do that. And now it's creating an email alias, maple.ai.phoniness051@passmail.net. All right, and it forwards to my work email. I can even put in a note here, just testing Maple, might sign up long term. All right, so I create, and now it's copied that. So now I can go to trymaple.ai, sign up. It did not copy that. Let's go back and copy it, paste that in, and I'm going to generate another temporary password. Paste that in, create account. All right. So now I need to verify my email. This is where I'm going to turn off the screen for a second while I get that, because I don't want to dox myself. Oh, actually, I can just do it from my computer. Let's do that. I'm not going to turn it off. All right, so I received the welcome verify your email address thing. So let me copy that. Come back in here, paste my code, verify. Okay, so now I have a free Maple account, and this could be any service. It doesn't have to be Maple, just a reminder here. But now I've got a free Maple account. Tell me about Proton and their privacy practices. Okay. This is a little more long running because this actually forwarded to my work email. But what does it say on my profile? As far as Maple goes, I'm just some randomly generated email address. So the people that work at this company have no idea who I am. And my chats are encrypted, so they're not able to look at the info I'm chatting about to try and find my identity either. So me working at Maple AI, if somebody came to my door and said, hey, we have this user who's been using your service, please give us all the info you have on them. This is what I give them right here. I give them this email address. And I say, here it is. The only other thing that we have is we know the timestamps of when you chatted, and we know how many tokens were used. A token is effectively how many compute credits got used in your chats. And that's it. That's the only info that we have to turn over to anyone. So using a privacy email alias really does a lot here when you're using a private AI chat, because you can really protect your identity. Okay, simple login. If I want to sign in with Proton, I can click here, load in my Proton account, and boom, I'm in already. And look, because they're attached to each other, it already knows about my email aliases that I created in Proton. All right. Okay. I'm going to end here because we've already been going for over a half hour. I try to keep these things to 30 minutes. This one got a little bit longer because there's so much to talk about here. But I hope that this was really useful to you today. We're up to 715 people on the live stream. That's not including Zap.Stream. We got a few more over there. Welcome to our Zap.Stream users. I'm glad that I got it working this week so we could have some people from the Nostr crowd, from the Freedom Tech crowd over here chatting. But I'm going to stop sharing my screen and let's go ahead and end here. Thank you for watching today, Freedom Tech Weekend. This will be archived. Again, archived on my YouTube. You can go to marks_FTW on YouTube. You can also find me on X, marks_FTW, and you can find my streams there or follow me on there. And then I also archive these as a podcast episode in audio format, and they're available on all the podcast platforms. Just search Freedom Tech, and Freedom Tech Weekend will pop up, and you can subscribe there as well and get the audio version. This weekend, go ahead and play around with privacy email addresses, both on the disposable form or in the email alias thing, and start protecting your anonymity online. Again, there were 3 reasons why we talked about this. First one was, oh man, you're gonna make me try to remember all 3 of them. Well, let's see, they won't be in the same order. Protecting yourself from data breaches. If a data breach happens, you don't want your real email address exposed, because then they can try and tie you to other services. You have spam protection. If you use an alias, it's easy to filter out the spam. And the third one was just protecting your identity in general. Many people's email addresses have their first and last name attached to them. And if you're signing up with a new service, you don't necessarily want to give away your information just yet, right? Maybe you want to go out to dinner first and then start giving away your identity. Okay. Peace out, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Do something this weekend to decouple yourself from closed systems that hold on to your data. All right, later.